मैम आप भी एक बार देख लीजिए, एक बार शेयर स्क्रीन करके, हालांकि आपको है एक्सपीरियंस, लेकिन फिर भी एक बार आप मैम आप भी एक बार देख लीजिए, एक बार शेयर स्क्रीन करके, हालांकि आपको है एक्सपीरियंस, लेकिन फिर भी एक बार आप।
हेलो
मैम एक सेकंड। मैम आप भी एक बार देख लीजिए, एक बार शेयर स्क्रीन करके, हालांकि आपको है एक्सपीरियंस, लेकिन फिर भी एक बार आप।
हेलो
मैम एक मिनट, एक मिनट, वो YouTube साथ में आ गया तो इसीलिए आवाज रीसाउंड हो रहा है।
Naseem madam, good morning.
Good morning, madam.
How are you?
Fine. Are you able to hear me clearly?
Yes, I am able to hear you.
Okay, good morning. I welcome one and all respected dignitaries and speakers of the day, and my dear esteemed faculty of the department, and our beloved registrar madam, and the participants from different parts of the country. Here we are going to have today the National Science Day celebration of 2021. I would like to welcome, first of all, our head department, Professor B. Vidyavardhini madam, to address the meeting on National Science Day.
Good morning, everyone. Respected Registrar Ma'am, Professor Naseem, respected Professor Mahan Karupallai sir, and the faculty of Botany Department, Telangana University, and everyone. Please, we are very happy to have you all on this virtual platform when we are celebrating the National Science Day. We are usually celebrate the National Science Day to commemorate the discovery of Raman Effect by Sir C.V. Raman. So C.V. Raman discovered the Raman Effect on 28th Feb, and then he was awarded Nobel Prize in 1930 for the same. And this year we are the world is celebrating it as the future for development of the knowledge, skill, and all, that is STI, science, technology, and innovation, and how this is going to help the students, the researchers, everyone in their as in all the aspects of sciences, as well as life sciences with the ongoing pandemic, the pharmaceutical sciences, and all. And with this, I welcome each and everyone, and thank you, and I hope all of you have a good day. God bless you all.
I request our beloved registrar, honorable registrar, Professor Naseem ma'am, to address the gathering.
Thank you, Dr. Haleem Khan sir. Our esteemed resource persons, eminent scientist of today's event, Dr. B. Dinesh Kumar sir, former scientist, the director, ICMR, NIN, Dr. Manju Sharma madam, National Academy of Sciences, India, distinguished women scientist chair and former secretary to the Government of India, Professor Madhubala Rentala madam, AS Pentel, distinguished scientist chair, ICMR at JNU, New Delhi, Professor S. Mohan Karupayal sir, Professor and Head Department of SCRM and Medical Biotechnology, Kolhapur, convener of this event, Dr. Haleem Khan sir, Board of Studies Chairperson, Department of Botany, Telangana University, Professor Vidyavardhini madam, Head Department of Botany of our Telangana University, Professor M. Aruna madam, Principal of College of Education, Saranpur Campus, Telangana University, staff and students of Botany Department of Telangana University, delegates and participants. Good morning to all of you. At the outset, I extend my sincere thanks to the convener of this event, Dr. Haleem Khan sir, for inviting me on the eve of celebration of National Science Day. I appreciate and congratulate the convener, Dr. Haleem Khan sir, staff and students of Botany Department of our Telangana University for organizing this program on such an important topic, future of science and technology, impacts on education skills, and work on the eve of National Science Day 2021. It's highly inspiring. All of us know that 20th February is celebrated as National Science Day in India to commemorate the discovery of Raman Effect by Sir C.V. Raman, of whom our country is proud of. He won the Nobel Prize in Physics in 1930 for the discovery of Raman Effect. Sir was one among the brilliant brains of India. The first National Science Day was celebrated on 28 February 1987 after the National Council for Science and Technology Communication, Government of India, announced and recognized 28 February as National Science Day. Since then, every year in India, we are celebrating National Science Day on 28 February with a particular theme. The pride of the Raman Effect is a strong driving force for the young generations of India to contribute to the field of science and technology. And its effect can be observed with the significant growth of India at the global level. Modern India is science-centric and technology-driven. The contribution of India in the undertaken space mission is recognized throughout the world. India is among the topmost countries in the field of scientific research by proving its mettle in the field of science and technology. India is among the top 5 nations in the field of space exploration. I'm sure that this program will be an opportunity for all the participants to meet and discuss the recent innovative methods in the concerned field. Deliberations, discussions, and exchange of views would be constructive, useful, and motivating. I hope it will render fruitful results. I wish this event a grand success. Thank you.
Thank you very much, ma'am. As our speaker for first immediate talk is ready, I welcome Professor Mohan sir to start his presentation. Over to Mohan sir.
So you can see the presentation?
Yes, yes.
Okay.
Sir, you make here one full screen mode, you make it. Down it is there.
Okay. Okay.
Yes, it is right now. Okay.
Honorable Registrar Professor Naseem, Professor Vidyavardhini, Professor Aruna, Dr. Haleem Khan, Honorable speakers Dr. Dinesh Kumar, Professor Manju Sharma, Professor Madhu Bhala, and my dear delegates, students, ladies and gentlemen. So very good morning to everybody. So today is a very important day for us, all of us, the students of science. Today, all over India, we are celebrating the legacy of Professor C.V. Raman. The day Raman Effect was declared to the whole world through a press conference. So Chandrasekhara Venkata Raman was an Indian physicist known for his work in light scattering. With his student K.S. Krishnan, he discovered that when light traverses a transparent material, some of the deflected light changes wavelength and amplitude. This phenomenon was a new type of scattering of light and was subsequently termed as the Raman effect or Raman scattering. Raman won the 1930 Nobel Prize for Physics. This fact is known to everybody. So we are celebrating the Raman effect today, February 28. The story begins in a village near Tiruchirappalli, and Raman was born on 8th November 1888 as the second child of Chandrasekhara Iyer and Parvati Amma. The family moved to Visakhapatnam when he was 4 years old. His father was a lecturer in Visakhapatnam, and he taught physics, mathematics, and physical geography. Later, he was transferred to Chennai as an assistant professor to teach mathematics and physics. So Raman also joined the Presidency College. His early education was in Visakhapatnam, and he joined the Presidency College as a student of BA class. So he was a very intelligent person from the childhood. He was not physically strong, but preferred to read books always. He was a voracious reader. He was mainly influenced by 3 books. One was Light of Asia by Edwin Arnold. Second was Elements of Euclid. And third was The Sensations of Tone by Helmholtz. So he was most of the time interested in reading books. And in 1904, he passed his BA. He was youngest in the class and unimpressive in appearance. He stood the university first and won the gold medal in the BA examinations. He joined MA Physics in the same college, and he was given freedom to study his own. Interestingly, he attended only one lecture during the whole 2 years of his study as an MA student. And at that time, research was not a component of the MSc education or MA education in Indian universities. There was not much research going on in the colleges and universities by the students. So, but he worked on light waves and published one paper in Philosophical Magazine, which was very unusual at that time. And in fact, he was the first student of Presidency College to publish a research paper. This is one of the very significant events in the life of Raman, where he is publishing a paper in the Philosophical Magazine on his own, without the help of any other person. So he passed his MA in 1907 and stood first in the university. So this was the first paper published by him, Unsymmetrical Diffraction Bands due to a rectangular aperture. It was published in Philosophical Magazine. So once he finished his MA, his teacher suggested him to prepare for ICS examination, which was very coveted at that time. So ICS was a prestigious examination for Indian students those days. So he attended a medical examination before the qualifying examination. And his teachers suggested him to go abroad. And he was asked to undergo a medical examination. Unfortunately, he failed in this medical examination. This can be the only examination he failed in his career. So the doctor who examined him felt that he is not medically fit for going to England. Doctor said that he will die of tuberculosis if he go to England. So very strange verdict was given by the civil surgeon. And Raman later said that he is grateful to the civil surgeon of Madras for disqualifying him. Immediately after his MSc, he got a job as Assistant Accountant General in Calcutta. And he left for Calcutta and joined the finance department of Government of India as an assistant accountant. Within a week of his reaching Calcutta, while traveling, he saw a signboard which read the Indian Association for the Cultivation of Sciences. This institution was to play a major role in his life and in the very history of scientific culture in our country. So, while returning home from office, Raman decided to visit Indian Association for the Cultivation of Science, Calcutta. It was founded in 1876. And he met the authorities. He walked into Indian Association for the Cultivation of Science, and he offered his services as a researcher. He told the authorities of Indian Association for the Cultivation of Science that he wanted to do research there after working hours. The authorities of this organization was very happy because it was 30 years after somebody is visiting that laboratory, which was all dusty, and nobody has worked in that laboratory. Forget about publications. So Raman wanted to do some work in the ISCS in his free time. So he started doing work. So he used to reach ISCS in the evening and used to work up to the night, maybe 10:30, 11 o'clock, and then he used to come back home. Meanwhile, Raman being employed, he wanted to get married and he married Lokasundari on 6th May 1907. So his wife was 13 years old. His wife later said jokingly that he married her not because of her musical prowess. He was playing a veena when they first met. But it may be because the extra allowance which the finance department gave it to its married officers. Married officers got additional Indian rupees 150. So anyway, Raman got married. And Raman led a double life. What is meant by double life? He worked as a finance officer the whole day. And he did research at the Indian Association for the Cultivation of Science until night. So this was his routine. So he was interested in acoustics because he came from a family with some musical background. His wife was very good in veena or string instruments. So he wanted to do some work on acoustics, the science of vibrations. So he did some work on violin and published a book on the mechanical theory of vibrations of musical instruments of the violin family. Not only he worked on violin, he worked on other instruments also. Veena, tamburu, mridangam, tabla, and others he started working. So the acoustics was one of the field he was interested in. As per Lokasundari, the wife of Raman, Raman's daily routine was like this. He used to work from 5:30 to 9:30 p.m. Then from 5 p.m. onwards, he used to work up to 10 o'clock to 5:30 to 9:30 a.m. He used to work in the ISES lab. Then 10 o'clock to 5 p.m. he used to work in the as a accountant. And 5:30 p.m. to 9:30 p.m. he used to again work in the ISES. Raman set up a research laboratory at his home when posted outside Calcutta in Nagpur and Rangoon. Later, Raman was also posted in Nagpur and Rangoon, where he continued his research work. Then very interesting thing happened. Raman started publishing from Indian Association for the Cultivation of Science. So this attracted the attention of the Vice Chancellor of Calcutta University, and he was offered a position of Palith Professor in Calcutta University. So Ashutosh Mukherjee, the Vice Chancellor of Calcutta University, offered him the position of Palith Professor of Physics, which was very prestigious. So Raman decided to move to Calcutta University, leaving his job. So this was very interesting that Raman got half the salary he got in the finance department. So he was losing a lot of money. So, but he decided to join Calcutta University as the Palith Professor in 1917. But there was a problem. There was some criticism among the of university authorities and the faculty of the Calcutta University, because the person who is applying must have foreign experience. Professor in Calcutta University, it was necessary that a person who is applying must have a foreign experience, and he should have a PhD. So as you may not be knowing that Raman did not possess a PhD degree in physics. So Calcutta University Vice Chancellor decided to waive the rule that the person must have foreign experience. And the another question was, Raman was not having a PhD degree. So Ashutosh Mukherjee offered an honorary DSc degree, Doctor of Science degree, to Raman, and Raman continued his professorship in Calcutta University. So this is very interesting. Calcutta University arranged for an honorary DSc degree, which not many people may be knowing that Raman did not have a PhD degree in physics. So he continued his professorship. So by that time, Raman was becoming a little bit famous because of his publications in acoustics. And in 1921, he went overseas for the first time to visit a university congress at Oxford. This trip he undertook through sea route was very significant in the history of our science. During this voyage back to India, he spent hours watching the sea from the deck of his ship. He was attracted by the blue color of the sea. So why it was interesting? Why it intrigued Raman? So many of us believe that the blueness of the sky is due to blueness of the sea is due to the blueness of the sky. One of the Nobel laureates, Lord Rayleigh, himself said that the much admired blueness of the sea is simply the blue of the sky seen by reflection. Professor Raman did a simple experiment while on the ship and found that the blueness of the sky was not merely the blueness of the sea was not merely the blue of the sky seen by reflection. Rather, the blue of the sea was due to molecular scattering by the waters of the ocean. It was an extraordinary sight on the ship to see this fervent Indian scientist conducting his experiments on the ship's deck with a simple polarizing nickel prism on the samples of seawater. So this experiment actually gave ideas to Raman on molecular scattering of light. Later, he did experiments on light scattering in various liquids and gas, which led to the Raman effect. Raman wrote his classical paper on molecular scattering of light in water and the color of the sea within a month of his return to India, and it was published in the Proceedings of the Royal Society of London in 1920. Immediately after returning to India and reaching home, he mailed the paper on molecular scattering of light, the water, and the color of the sea. And this happened in 1921. It was published in a prestigious journal of the Royal Society of London.
चाय पी के वहाँ एक ड्रॉ जो है नीचे वाला
By 1924, Raman's outstanding researches had won for him worldwide recognition, and the Royal Society of London conferred upon him the highest distinction of the Fellow of the Royal Society of London at the age of 36. This is very significant event in his life. He became an FRS London at the age of 36. So by that time, Raman has become quite famous for his studies on light scattering and acoustics. And his name was proposed for the Nobel Prize in Physics in 1929, followed by 1930. This was, in a sense, the beginning of the most outstanding experiments ever performed in the country and led to the work which brought the only prize in physics our country has received. Returning to India, Raman initiated research on 3 different lines. One was on scattering of light by liquids, in which his students were involved, like K.S. Krishnan, Bhagavantam, and all students were involved in these experiments. Scattering of X-rays by liquids and the viscosity of liquids. Professor Raman's work on the scattering of light by liquid, of course, was the one which fetched him and our country the Nobel Prize in Physics and came to be known as the Raman Effect. So February 28, 1928, Raman called for a press speech. The Associated Press of India reported it the next day as a new theory of radiation Professor Raman suggested. So the newspaper quoted that Professor C.V. Raman, FRS of Calcutta University, has made a discovery which promises to be of fundamental significance to physics. The new phenomenon exhibits features even more startling than those discovered by Professor Compton with X-rays. The principal feature observed is that when matter is excited by light of one color, the atoms contained in it emit light of 2 colors, one of which is different from the exciting color and is lower down the spectrum. The astonishing thing is that the altered color is quite independent of the nature of the substance used. The news was reproduced by statesmen And Raman submitted a 3-paragraph report on the discovery on March 8 to Nature, and it was published in April. Raman presented the formal and detailed description the new radiation at the meeting of South Indian Association for Science in Bangalore. His lecture was published in the Indian Journal of Physics. The confidence of Raman. The Raman was expecting that Nobel Prize will be awarded to him in 1929, but it did not happen. But he was so sure that Nobel Prize may be awarded in 1930. So the Nobel Prizes are normally announced in November, only 1 month before the prize giving ceremony in mid-September. So the only way to go to Stockholm at that time was through steamship, and booking a ticket in November would not have made it possible to reach Stockholm in December. So it is a historical fact that Raman booked his tickets for him and his wife in July, much before the declaration was made. He was so confident that he will win the Nobel Prize. So even before the declaration of the award, in July, he booked his ticket through sea route. So that enabled them to reach Stockholm early in December. Very interesting thing. So Raman reached Stockholm in time by ship. When he reached there was a telegram waiting for him, which says, "Congratulations from your dear friend, now in jail." It was a telegram sent by Mahatma Gandhi congratulating Raman for getting the Nobel Prize. So this was a big news. Raman Indian wins Nobel Prize in Physics. Why it is significant? Because this was in 1930, British India, and Raman was the first Asian and the first Indian to get a Nobel Prize for science for the work done exclusively in his own country. None of the work done for the Nobel Prize was done abroad, and he was the first Indian to get a Nobel Prize, creating history. First Asian to get a Nobel Prize. So Raman very vividly recalls what happened on that day. He said that I was sitting in the hall packed with the Europeans, all white-skinned people, and I was the only brownish person wearing an Indian turban. And when I was called to the podium to receive the award, I realized that I am representing Indians. And when I turned back, I saw the British flag flying in the background. And then he broke down when he realized that the poor country I represent don't even have a flag of its own. So here is the Nobel winning ceremony lecture. C.V. Raman, Hans Fischer, Karl Landsteiner, and Sinclair Lewis, very significant event in the history of our country. It is of particular significance that the equipment used by Raman for the discovery was very simple and cost only 500 rupees at that time. So later, this equipment which Raman developed was called Raman spectrograph. A Raman spectroscope and Raman spectrophotometer was later developed, and which cost around 35 lakh rupees in Indian currency or more than that right now. The Raman Effect was a big news. It was published by the American Chemical Society and Indian Association for the Cultivation of Science. They published an article called the Raman Effect. Now, Raman Effect did not stop there. It led to the publication of a journal exclusively dedicated to Raman spectroscopy. Raman spectroscopy is a very standard journal published by Willy, exclusively publishes on Raman spectroscopy. Raman spectroscopy is now a multi-billion-dollar business with a very wide range of applications in biology, physics, and chemistry. See the Raman spectrograph. Raman developed and first Raman spectra photograph. So this is the crude spectrophotometer developed by Raman, which costs around $500, 500 rupees. This is a current day FT Raman spectrophotometer, which costs around 35 lakh rupees. So Raman had a great, good number of very bright students at that time. Some of the very brilliant students of Raman was Ramanathan, K.S. Krishnan, and Suri Bhagwan. K.S. Krishnan made a significant contribution to Raman effect, studying the scattering of light in various solvents like benzene, and even the experiments on water was repeated by K.S. Krishnan, and he made significant contributions to Raman effect. In 1954, Bharat Ratna was awarded to Raman, but Raman could not attend the Bharat Ratna ceremony in New Delhi. He wrote to the president, Rajendra Prasad, saying that his student is going to submit his PhD thesis. As such, he will not be able to attend the ceremony. So, Raman's publications are in the following areas. He worked on he published on molecular diffraction of light, original research papers. So from Calcutta, he came down to Indian Institute of Science in Bangalore, popularly called as Tata Institute. So this was in 1933. He was appointed as the first director of Indian Institute of Science, Bangalore. And he worked there up to more than 10-15 years. He worked there as the director. What is significant here is that all the previous directors of Indian Institute of Science were Britishers. And this was the first time some Indian person is appointed as the director of Indian Institute of Science. So in Indian Institute of Science, Raman developed a research culture. The Indian Institute of Science was not a place where a lot of publications were coming out at that time. There was a lot of lethargy in the institute at that time because the scientists were all very well paid and there was not much research going on. And with the Raman's entry, things changed. He established a department of physics and appointed very reputed one German scientist. Another thing he did was he started the Indian Academy of Sciences in Bangalore. Now Indian Academy of Sciences publishes more than 10 journals, including the current science. And the academy began its functioning with 65 founding fellows. And he was the elected president. And it is a still very active academy. After retiring from Indian Institute of Science, Raman established Raman Research Institute in 1948 to continue his basic research and research on Raman Effect. To summarize, Raman contributed to Indian science with a deep and genuine passion for physics. He improvised from scratch. His determination, spirit, and contributions will remain very special in the practice of science. So in addition to Nobel Prize, Raman received a number of prizes. So 1912, he received the Curzon Award. 1913, Woodburn Research Medal. 1928, Metosi Medal. 1930, he was knighted. 1930, he was awarded the Nobel Prize. And in 1930, he received Hughes Medal for Royal Society and Franklin Medal. In 1954, he was awarded the highest civilian honor of India, Bharat Ratna. And in 1957, he was awarded the Lenin Nobel. So Raman very rightly said that I am the master of my failure. If I never fail, how will I ever learn? This is the legacy of Raman, and it is a great pleasure that I am given this opportunity. And I would like to thank the organizers for inviting me. Thank you very much.
Thank you, sir, for such a wonderful briefing on the entire life of Sir C.V. Raman. Thank you very much for such a wonderful experiences of Raman towards life. So it was you made the Science Day very glorified by such a crystal clear points what you have focused in this presentation. On behalf of Department of Botany, Telangana University, and the whole participant team on Zoom as well as on the YouTube live streaming, I express my deep sense of gratitude towards you and accepting my invitation. As you are my teacher, I always be requesting you for many more such kind of presentations and making me more and more glorified. Thank you so much, sir. Have a nice day. I request now Madhumala madam to start sharing her screen. Ma'am.
Yeah, and can you see it?
Screen sharing is not there, but you are visible.
Hello.
You are seen, ma'am, but actually your screen is not visible.
1 minute.
Okay, audio.
Ma'am, it is visible now.
Okay. You can see it?
Yes, yes.
Can you hear me?
Yes, yes.
Okay, great.
It is a proud privilege for a moment for us because we are with Professor R. Madhubala ma'am. She is currently A.S. Pental Distinguished Scientist Chair of ICMR in the School of Life Sciences, Jawaharlal Nehru University. She was former Director, Human Resource Development Center, Director, Advanced Instrumentations Research Facility, and Dean and Professor, School of Life Sciences. She obtained her doctoral degree in the year 1984 from the University of Hyderabad and was a visiting scientist in the USA from 1986 to 1989. She joined JNU in the year 1990 as associate administrative positions in as joined as associate professor and rose to the rank of professor in 1998. She was appointed to a number of key positions, administrative positions in JNU in recognition of her abilities. She started research in visceral leishmaniasis for the first time when she joined JNU. Her work is recognized in this field at both national and international levels with several accolades and awards. She has received UGC Hariom Trust Award, JC Bose Award, the Young Scientist Award from International Union of Biochemistry (IUB), the Career Research Initiative Award from Wellcome Trust UK. She received Biotechnology Career Fellowship from Rockefeller Foundation, USA. She also received American Society of Microbiology International Professorship and Award from Gates Foundation, Nature Publishing House Award, etc. She has been elected member of all the 4 prestigious national academies in India. She is a member of the World Academy of Sciences. She has received the President of India Visitor Group Award 2016 and 2016 Senior Women Bioscientist Award, Department of Biotechnology, Government of India. She has published over 130 papers in high impact factor international journals. She has research experience of over 30 years, evidenced by international publications, and has trained 34 PhD students and several postdoctoral fellows who are well placed at both international and national levels. She has been an adjunct faculty member of Seattle Biomedical Research Institute, USA. She led a global infectious disease training program as the principal investigator in India, supported by Fogarty International Research Collaboration Award, USA. She was appointed as an advisor member of the Karnataka Biotechnology Vision Group by the Karnataka Government of India. With these words of introduction of Madhubala Madam, I request ma'am to start presentation.
Thank you very much for the introduction. I would like to, Mr. Manju Sharma, my due respect and good morning to you, and good morning to all the speakers and the audience. I had to check up with the organizers as to what is the level of the students. I was told they are mostly undergrad and postgraduate students. So based on that, I gave this topic on perspectives on vaccine development. The reason why I chose this topic, because we are going through, the whole globally, we are going through a major pandemic. I thought if I introduce this topic in general and with special reference to COVID, and it would give an idea, because everybody has been reading the papers and the magazines, listening to the television. I thought a broad overview would be very helpful. In simplest terms, I have tried to project this presentation. The way I have structured my presentation is I'll be briefly talking about the history of vaccination and going up to what are the different types of vaccines, why is there a need for vaccine, and after describing briefly all these points, I will go on to corona vaccine and the terminologies which you see on everyday news item, television, what is India doing in that, where do we stand. So I'll briefly be touching those points also. So, so when I talk about perspectives on vaccine development, my first thing is, what is a vaccine? The term vaccine derives from Edward Jenner's 1796 use of the term cowpox. That is, in Latin, it was called variola vaccinae, adapted from the Latin vaccine US, from vacca cow, which when administered to humans provided them protection against smallpox. Can you hear me?
Full screen कर सकते हैं क्या? Full इसको मतलब slide को?
Pardon me?
Can we make it a slide show?
Okay. Is it too big?
हाँ वही हाँ नीचे
Is this okay?
नीचे नीचे आप देखिए यहाँ पे एक
Yeah, I've seen that. I've removed the.
वो वाला कर दीजिए ना हाँ
You want this or you want short of?
वो वाला वही वाला
Is this okay?
सरिता जी कहो कि अगर पंकज सेठ का फोन आएगा तो मुझे बुला लेगी.
Is this better or this one better?
ये वाला ये इधर जो कॉर्नर में आ रहा है लास्ट में हाँ वो वाला कीजिए उसके बाद वाला
ये?
हाँ वो वाला
That's what I turned on earlier also.
अच्छा ठीक है ओके 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 ठीक है
This is the one I turned on.
अच्छा अच्छा ठीक है
Okay. So that is how the name vaccine came up. So basically what happened was the beginning started with Edward Jenner, who inoculated a young boy in England and successfully prevented him from getting smallpox. Jenner used a lancet to scratch some infected material from a woman with cowpox, similar to smallpox, under the boy's skin. This was the beginning of vaccination. Then in 1885, scientist Louis Pasteur used one to vaccinate a young boy who had been bitten by a mad dog and was sure to die of rabies. The boy lived and immunization took another giant step forward. Now, then with these two different vaccines getting activated, the present scenario is as more and more immunizing agents became available, people saw the benefit of immunizing large groups, such as soldiers. During World War I, they were vaccinated against diphtheria. During World War II, tetanus and other agents were being used. Now, when you get infected with a virus or a bacteria or a foreign body, the body has a natural mechanism to induce immunity. The human body can take care of itself in many circumstances like cuts, colds, minor infections. They disappear without major upheaval. In other cases, the body has little or no naturally occurring immunity. So if you are exposed to diseases, so you have natural immunity where the body automatically produces these antigens and kill the foreign body or foreign infection. Now, in our body, there are two basic immune cells which are to be understood here. We have both B cells and T cells. The difference between B cells and T cells is if I attack this invader outside, the B cells, if the attack is from the outside, sorry, why is this going up? I attack the invaders outside the cells, the B cells get activated and produce antibodies, as you can see in this picture here. So you can see the plasma B cells are producing antibodies, and then the pathogen gets activated and is killed by the antibodies which are produced. Whereas then the T cells also, B cells is the immediate memory which the cell reacts by producing antibodies, whereas the T cells is a long-term memory which when the invader comes, it is inside the cell and then you have the antibody production, the T cell respond and produce cytokines and kill the bacteria or the pathogen or the virus. What does a vaccine do? It stimulates normal protective immune response of host to fight invading pathogen. How does a vaccine work? Vaccines greatly reduce the risk of infection by training the immune system to recognize and fight pathogens such as viruses or bacteria. Vaccines safely deliver an immunogen, which is a specific type of antigen that elicits an immune response to train the immune system to recognize the pathogen when it is encountered naturally. How vaccines are delivered, there are different ways we can administer the vaccine through different routes. It could be by injection in the muscle or under the skin or via oral route. Vaccines sometimes require more than one dose to build complete immunity. Give a booster dose when immunity wears off, or immunize people against viruses causing disease that may be different from season to season. Example, the yearly flu vaccine. There are some vaccines which you have to take 6 monthly or yearly because the immune system does not react, keep the immunity for a long time. So either you require a booster dose or you require immunity to get the immunity vaccine from season to season. Now, what are the different types of vaccine? Here, I briefly describe the different types of vaccine. One is a genetic vaccine. You could have viral vector vaccines, protein-based vaccines, and inactivated vaccines. The genetic vaccine or the mRNA vaccine is the newest in the, we've had first generation, second generation, and third generation vaccine, the so-called the DNA vaccine. But the genetic vaccine is a very, very recent, especially the mRNA vaccine, which I will be talking about later. So talking about what these development, how are these different types of vaccines working, whether it is a DNA, viral vector, or a protein vaccine, what is their mechanism of action of what these types of vaccine, which is what I'm going to describe now. Now, if you look at virus vaccines, virus is selected, modified, weakened, or completely inactivated so that it will not cause the disease. So on the picture, you will see, if you make a vaccine, you can make attenuated live vaccine or an inactivated dead virus vaccine. So if your attenuated live virus vaccine means you have disabled or knocked out some of the genes from the live virus. The virus is still live, so you have knocked out 1 or 2 genes from that, which does not kill the virus. This is called an attenuated live virus. Then you have inactivated dead virus, where you kill the virus. You could do chemical inactivation by chemicals, or you could do heat inactivation, and these are called inactivated dead virus. So the vaccine is basically either it could be attenuated live virus or an inactivated dead virus. When you take this vaccine, you inject it, it will get into the cells, and these viruses, they are able to replicate, and then they set up an immune response. In the case of coronavirus, it's the peptide which binds to the host cell on the surface, on the receptor, and results in the immune response, that is the surface protein. Now, then you have the protein-based vaccines. What are these protein-based vaccines? They can be protein subunits or virus-like protein. A protein is extracted from the virus alive or inactivated, purified, and injected as a vaccine. For coronavirus, this is most commonly the spike protein. Virus-like particles also work in the same way. So in the figure, you will see there is a protein subunit vaccine. In this case, it is the spike protein, which is being used, or you have virus-like particles. So if you take that and inject it into the host, again, they will bind to the receptors on the surface and produce, that is your coronavirus peptide. In this case, it could be spike protein and results in the immune response. And even same thing happens if you have the virus-like particles. The coronavirus peptide is attached to is represented on the surface of the antigenic cells and results in the immune response. Now, viral vector vaccines, that is another one, because why I'm giving a brief history of these different types of vaccines which are known. And then when I talk about coronavirus, I'll tell you which vaccine is what in today's discoveries. So viral vector vaccines, the gene for pathogen protein is inserted into the different virus that can infect someone without causing disease. For example, if you have a vector, you take the gene of a pathogen protein and insert it into a different virus. In most of the cases, you must have heard adenovirus has been used for both the coronavirus vaccines like Sputnik and Oxford vaccine. So it is inserted into a different vector, a different viral vector. The safe virus serves as a platform or vector to deliver the protein that triggers an immune response. The safe virus is then injected as a vaccine. Some replicate, reproduce in the body, and some do not. So the picture here shows the viral vector vaccines, the replicating vector. Coronavirus spike gene is put inside this viral gene, and then it is infected into the host. It goes and binds to the host cells and results in the presentation of coronavirus spike peptide on the surface, leading to immune response. You can same way use non-replicating viral vector where you have inserted the spike gene or any other viral gene, some inactivate, and then it is the viral vector by itself does not trigger an immune response. It is only the spike protein or any other protein which is inserted in the vector will lead to the production of the immune response. And then is the nucleic acid vaccines. These can be of two types. You can have a DNA vaccine or RNA vaccine. Instead of a virus, a protein antigen or virus expressing the protein, nucleic acid coating the antigen is injected. DNA plasmid enters the nucleus and transcribes to mRNA for the expression of the protein. You can see the DNA vaccine when you insert the DNA, say, which has the spike gene, insert that into the host, and then you find this is done by electroporation. In this case, you can see it will transcribe into messenger RNA, and then it will make viral proteins. And these viral proteins again activate the cell, bind to the cell receptor, and cause the immune response. Or you can have RNA vaccine. This is a very new technology. No other vaccines for human use have used this as before this pandemic. RNA is often encased in a lipid coat so that it can enter the cell, and then it works exactly in the same way. But here there is no transcription happening because you have already put the mRNA, and the mRNA gives rise to the protein, and then viral proteins, and then the same immune response happens. So these are called nucleic acid vaccines. Now, what are the different steps in vaccine development? I'm sure you're reading in the newspapers and everywhere that the vaccine is going through phase 1 clinical trial or phase 2 or phase 3. What does that mean? I do not know how many people know exactly what it means. So the various steps to approve a vaccine, actions taken to ensure a new vaccine is safe and works well. First of all, you have preclinical studies. Vaccine is tested in animal studies. This is done in the laboratory for efficacy and safety, including challenging studies. Then we have phase 1 clinical trial, where small groups of healthy human adult volunteers receive the vaccine to test for safety. Then you have phase 2 clinical trial. Vaccine is given to people who have characteristics such as age and physical health, similar to those for whom the vaccine is intended. The phase 3 clinical trial, vaccine is given to thousands of people and tested for safety and efficacy. Phase 4 is post-marketing surveillance, ongoing studies after the vaccine is approved and licensed to monitor adverse events and to study long-term effects of vaccine in the population. Now here I'll switch gears and I'll talk about, based on what I told you, the background of different types of vaccine, where do we stand? What is the update on COVID-19 vaccine development? Before I come to the vaccine development, I would like to briefly show the characteristics of the coronavirus, which we have been talking about it, reading about it, and there is so much discussion going on, but I thought you should know what exactly is coronavirus. It's a spherical or helical, 60 to 200 nanometer in diameter. It's a RNA virus. Surface antigens are glycoprotein, and there are two types of glycoproteins, E1 and E2. E1 is the transmembrane protein, and E2 is the is responsible for adhesion to the cell membrane. How does coronavirus infect the host? This is how the virus looks. You see the projections outside are basically the spike proteins, which I'll be talking about how important they are, because they are the ones is responsible for stimulating neutralizing antibody and interaction with the cellular receptors of the host. They bind to the cells via specific receptors. They enter, this is called the S protein or the spike protein. They enter through membrane fusion. In the cytoplasm, the viral mRNA is translated by the host machinery. As I said, this is a RNA virus. And once the RNA goes into the host, it gets translated. It uses the host machinery to translate mRNA to protein. Viral proteins are synthesized, assembled, are fused to the cell membrane, and virus comes out of the cell. This is the diagram of a typical coronavirus viron. You can see the projections. Those are the spike protein, then the nucleocapsid, envelope protein is another one, and the membrane protein M. These are the different proteins the coronavirus viron has. This is a picture of the coronavirus as seen through the electron microscope. You can see the whole virus particle, and the projections are your spike protein, which are present around each of the viruses. Now, how does the virus infect? They are transmitted by aerosol secretions, respiratory mostly. It has an incubation period of 2 days to a week, eliminating virus for 1 week. Disease caused by coronavirus, they primarily infect the upper respiratory tract and gastrointestinal tract of mammals and birds. Coronavirus can even cause pneumonia, either direct viral pneumonia or a secondary bacterial pneumonia. Human coronavirus, SARS-CoV, which causes SARS, causes both upper and lower respiratory tract infections. Now, we all know that the laboratory diagnosis has advanced quite a bit, and the antibody test, that is ELISA, is being done, and the real-time PCR is the way to find out whether you are infected or not with the coronavirus. Now, we talk about, since we all know that WHO has declared this as a pandemic, what is the difference between endemic, epidemic, and pandemic? It is very important to know that transmission in endemic occurs, but the number of cases remains constant. Those red dots you see in the first plate is the few endemic cases are seen all over the world, but they remain constant. Epidemic happens when in the same area, the number of cases increases, as in the second picture. And pandemic, when epidemics occur at several continents, then we call it as a global epidemic or a pandemic. So COVID-19 is a pandemic because it has occurred. It's an epidemic which occurs at several continents, and it is a global epidemic. So what are the public health measures help to control the spread of COVID-19? COVID-19 pandemic continues to affect countries around the world. The number of cases and deaths are increasing significantly. Rigorous testing, contact tracing, quarantine, isolation are recommended. Development and implementation of a vaccine will contribute significantly to reduce the threat. COVID-19 vaccine developmental status, where do we stand today? This is the first example where a global collaboration has been done and we have COVID-19 vaccine in less than a year it was made. Now, this kind of collaboration has never been seen in the world. And the last time, when 100 years back, when the Spanish flu happened, at that time, scientists didn't even know what is a bacteria, difference between a bacteria or a virus, whether Spanish flu was due to a virus or a bacteria. Only after the pandemic was over that they realized that it is a virus and not the bacteria. So how much advancement of science has happened over a period of so many years, how much collaboration has been built up, and you also will notice how much advancement of science has taken place in our own country, where we are lead players of vaccine development in India by itself. The development of a novel vaccine is complex and lengthy process that on average takes about 10 years. Given the current COVID-19 pandemic, institutions, commercial developers, and researchers around the world are working at an unprecedented speed. As of 2nd October 2020, there were 42 candidate vaccines in clinical evaluations in humans and 151 candidate vaccines in the preclinical phase. So these are the different vaccines. You can see different vaccines which are going through phase 3 clinical trial in different parts of the world. You can see the planned and the enrolled participants based on the color in different parts. You can see in India, the whole of India is colored, which shows that how many trials, clinical trials, planned clinical trials are going on in India right now. So briefly touching upon the important vaccines which are being approved for phase 3 clinical trial. One is our own Covaxin by Biotech. It is a joint collaboration between ICMR, National Institute of Virology, Pune, and Bharat Biotech. The candidate is Covaxin. It is basically a chemically treated virus and is called the inactivated vaccine. In the beginning, I had shown you how the virus could be inactivated and used as a vaccine. So this is basically a whole virus particle which has been inactivated and used as a vaccine. The trial phase, it is going through phase 3 clinical trials. As I mentioned, the institutions involved are ICMR, National Institute of Virology, and Bharat Biotech from Hyderabad. Now, then we have AZD1222 by AstraZeneca. As we all know in India, it is called Covishield. Mechanism, it's a viral vector vaccine, contains viruses engineered to carry coronavirus genes, and it uses chimpanzees adenovirus as the vector. And it is also going through phase 3 clinical trials, and it is made by University of Oxford and Jenner Institute. And in India, it is manufactured in large scale by Serum Institute of India and also abroad by AstraZeneca. Those are the companies which are involved in making this Oxford vaccine, which is a viral vector vaccine. Then you have Sputnik 5 by Gamaleya Research Institute. And this is it's a Russian vaccine. It uses non-replicating viral vector. In the previous one, it uses chimpanzees viral vector. As the host here, it uses adenovirus AD5 and AD26. It uses two different vectors. The booster is given by AD26, and the viral protein is inside these adenoviruses. AD5 is the first dose and AD26 is the second adenovirus which has the vaccine in it. Now, these are non-replicating viral vectors, and this is approved by the Russian Ministry of Health. And in India, it is going through phase 3 clinical trials by Reddy Laboratory from Hyderabad. So that should also be in the market soon. BNT162 by Pfizer. This is the mRNA vaccine. I said this is the first time we have heard about DNA-based vaccines being used. This is the first time an mRNA-based vaccine which will introduce one or more coronavirus genes into human cells to provoke an immune response. So trial phase 3, and Pfizer and BioNTech, multiple study sites in Europe and North America are going on right now. And people have even got the second dosage of Pfizer with no major side effects. Then you have another mRNA vaccine, mRNA 1273 by Moderna. And this is again a genetic vaccine. It is also mRNA-based vaccine, but this mRNA has been stabilized. And all these mRNA vaccines need really cold temperature. But this Moderna can survive at -20 or even in refrigerator for a while. And it introduces a gene encoding for coronavirus spike protein in human cells to provoke an immune response. This is also going through phase 3 clinical trials in the US. Institutions involved are Moderna, Kaiser, Permanent, Washington Health Research Institute. Then this vaccine success story, which gives us hope for the future, and I am sure that India is playing a leading role and supplying vaccine to various countries, and we are really on top of the global map as far as vaccine production goes on. Thank you very much for your patience, and I hope I simplified the talk as much as possible. And thank you for listening patiently.
Thank you, ma'am. Thank you very much. There are some questions because Manju Sharma madam schedule has getting.
No problem.
I'll be asking you a few questions for the participants on YouTube live streaming. After ma'am's talk, we will be please ma'am be in our meeting. If you are free, you will be in the meeting. If not, I will be sending you the mail of the questions. There are 4 questions from a participant. So now I request Manju Sharma madam to switch on her. She can start sharing the screen. Ma'am, Manju Sharma madam. Thank you. It is a proud privilege of the movement for Department of Botany, Telangana University, that our eminent personality, a great figure in science and technology, Professor Manju Sharma ma'am. She is trained as a plant scientist and took her first class MSc from Lucknow University in 1961 with first rank and received the Birbal Sahani Memorial Gold Medal. Her well-known work on the detailed ontogeny, development and distribution of sclerites in organs other than leaves like stem and floral parts brought out for the first time the taxonomic and phylogenetic significance of sclerites. Her postdoctoral research at University USA on the latex-bearing plants with Professor A.C. Leopold led to the understanding that ethanol can stimulate the yield of latex and rubber by 100%. This found direct commercial application in rubber plantations in Malaysia as a visiting scientist at the Institute of Plant Anatomy and Cytology at the University of Copenhagen. She did extensive work on the plant idioplast, resulting in very good publications. Her extensive studies at the Forest Research Institute, Dehradun, on silica content in large number of woody species established a correlation between silicon content and the hardness of wood, a character used an indicator of quality of wood. She co-authored a monograph entitled Indian Medicinal Plants and ICMR publication. She has many research publications to her credit and prepared a number of special papers, policy reports, and documents on various aspects of science and technology. She played important role in promote science and technology in general and biosciences in particular. She initiated and promoted many successful programs in diverse areas of science, particularly biology. She has international experience, acted as a resource persons for United Nations organizations as regional coordinator of the farmer-centered agriculture resource management for a sub-program on biotechnology and biodiversity. As a member of the Executive Council and General President of Indian Science Congress Association and as a chairperson and member secretary of many important scientific committees, task forces and research advisory councils, governing boards, etc., several new initiatives have been taken. As a General Secretary, Vice President and later President of the National Academy of Sciences, the only lady scientist to occupy the position of president in any of the Science Academy of India. She has served the academy with great dedication. She provided leadership to programs for women scientists, defense personnel, and for science technology population in different regions of the country. She has been largely responsible for the establishment of a number of new institutions in biotechnology, a unique feature of her tenure as secretary in Department of Biotechnology, Government of India. She is known for her development, promotion, and application of biotechnology nationally and internationally. She initiated biotechnology based on several programs for the benefit of poor and rural areas. Her significant contributions in technological empowerment of women have had great impact in rural areas, especially in schemes started by her called Bio Village. She was responsible for setting up biotechnology parks in different states in India for employment generation, growth of biotech industry, and training of scientists and entrepreneurs. She has developed many important endowment lectures. She has received large number of awards and recognitions. She was a fellow of Third World Academy of Sciences and National Academy of Agricultural Sciences India. She has been conferred honorary doctorate DSc by many universities, including Broad University, USA. After completing her tenure as Secretary, Department of Biotechnology, Government of India, she has been very active in promoting science and technology for women, popularization of science, state level programs in biotechnology. On 10th December 2004, she has received a Lifetime Achievement Award from Biospectrum. As a founder, president, and executive director, a new institute called Indian Institute of Advanced Research in Gandhinagar, Gujarat, has been established by her. She is principal advisor on biotechnology to the state government of Gujarat and the state government of Uttarakhand to establish Uttarakhand Science and Technology Education Center as scientific advisor to the state government. She prepared a roadmap as chairman of a vision group of UP, Uttar Pradesh government for biotechnology research and development. As a co-chair of the advisory panel on women for science set up by Inter Academic Council Netherlands, she completed the report which was launched on the June 20, 2006 in Paris. Vision document has been prepared by the committee under her guidance. The major recommendations have been forwarded to science departments for the follow-up. She is coordinating major welfare programs of women scientists started by the Department of Science and Technology, Government of India, with help of National Academy of Sciences. She has been given Padma Bhushan Award by Government of India in 2007. It's a proud moment to have such eminent scientists who was being awarded with so many rewards, and a lady who has achieved sky with the flying colors is among with us in such a rural hamlet. So we welcome ma'am to meeting and address our gathering. Thank you, ma'am, for accepting our invitation.
Thank you, Dr. Khan, for inviting me to your university on such a auspicious day, National Science Day. And also thanks to all your authorities for asking me to come and deliver this lecture. It is my pleasure to be in Telangana University. This is for the first time I'm coming to this university, although I have been practically to all the most of the institutions, I would say, in Hyderabad. Agriculture universities, Hyderabad institutions, and other research institutes, and also other universities. So I'm very happy that I'm here in Telangana University, and I want to also wish a very happy National Science Day to all my dear faculty members, as well as my very, very dear students. The theme which I have selected today to speak to you is on women in science, technology, engineering, mathematics, and I have added another M, which is for medicine, and its application for their benefit, especially to reduce their drudgery. I will not go into the details of all the aspects of science, technology, engineering, mathematics, but I will touch upon certain policy issues and also then come to some technical matters and career development options for the young students. मैं करूं अपने आप स्लाइड ऊपर वाला नीचे वाला
साइड वाला
ये
साइड ये वाला
ये the theme for National Science Day 2021, which is celebrated all over the country every year on the 28th February, is Future of STI, Science, Technology and Innovations, Impact on Education, Skills and Work. Therefore, it is very, very relevant for the young students, for the education, and also for the skill development, which will be guided by the faculty members. So that this year's theme particularly relates to education and skill improvement. Now, I heard the lecture, the previous lecture, which was spoken by Professor Manohar Karyo and Professor C.V. Raman. And it's a great day to recall this most eminent scientist of this country, not only this country, but in the world, one of the most eminent physicists who received the Nobel Prize in 1930 for his discovery of the Raman Effect. He was a personality known to every Indian at that time, and he was very fond of students. And he used to, in the Indian Institute of Science, Bangalore, under a very big tree there are beautiful trees there, he will sit and get all the students and then give them lectures, and not only on science and technology, but he will also talk on how is the sky blue, what are the birds singing, why is this flower yellow and red, like that, on general topics. And the children also will be very, very excited. So Professor C.V. Raman has been a eminent scientist of this country, a great leader for promotion of science and technology, and one of the greatest leaders for enthusing the young students, the younger generation, into science and technology. Some of the great leaders of science later on were actually his students, and he had mentored them. And I want to give one of his most famous quote, which is probably known to every scientist in this country. When he was addressing the annual meeting of the Institution of Engineers in February 1948, just imagine 1948, he said, there is only one solution for India's economic problem, and that is science and more science and more science and still more science. I'm sure all the faculty members of the university sitting here and other participants would appreciate why he said this. Today, you see, and just now you heard a very interesting lecture on the vaccine development. And today you see, from the day the COVID-19 pandemic started, and even prior to that, the day it was recognized in the country that we also have one infected case, the scientists got onto the job. And in 1 year, the scientific community has demonstrated that science certainly can solve most of the problems of humankind. And we see now today the vaccine development, the 2 vaccines already rolled out, both Covaxin and Covishield. And there are many other vaccines in trial. And India is not lagging behind in vaccine research or in other areas like therapeutics from plants and management of corona, the way they have done. All this is known to all of you. So scientists really played a very significant role along with the medical professionals in this management of and prevention of the COVID-19 pandemic. So what Professor Sir C.V. Raman said is relevant even today and will continue to be relevant, I am very confident, in the future years. Now I come to another very important aspect. Sir C.V. Raman received the Nobel Prize in 1930, and year after year, Nobel Prizes are given in all the areas of science and technology. And today, it's a matter of global pride that 2 women, Emmanuel Carpenter and Jennifer A. Doudna, have received the Nobel Prize in chemistry this year. And we are all, and it is for the development of a method for genome editing. That's very, very critical. So it's although the Nobel Prize is in chemistry, it's on the borderline chemistry and biotechnology or biosciences, because we are talking of the genome editing. So we are very proud of that 2 women in 1 year received the Nobel Prize. And also the 3rd woman who received the Nobel Prize in literature is very, very important. I want to tell you briefly. ये पीछे करना है, आगे चला गया. इससे करें. I want to tell you very briefly about, before I go to that, I want to read out a quotation from another Nobel laureate, Guru Rabindranath Tagore, and this describes the women in general and their personality, and how beautiful, how delicate, how humble they can be, and they are. Women, when you move about in your household service, your limbs sing like a hill stream among pebbles. Women, thou has encircled world's heart with the depth of the tears as the sea has the earth. Women, in your laughter, you have the music of the fountain of life, unquote. So this is to address all the women who are sitting here. You are beautiful when you laugh, when you do a service, when you cry. In every aspect of your personality, you continue to be beautiful. Now, the science and technology policy issues have been very important for the country. And as you know, every country is development is dependent on the policy of science and technology and other policy issues also. But I'm in particular talking about the SNT. After independence, we had several policy statements for the promotion, development, utilization, and progress of science and technology in the country. The importance of science for women has been included in all the policy statements. In 1958, there was the Scientific Policy Resolution, SPR, and then we had the Technology Policy Statement, 1983, and a Technology Policy Implementation Committee. Then came Science and Technology Policy for 2003, and later on, Science and Technology and Innovation Policy, that is STI 2013. The Scientific Policy Resolution states to ensure creative talent of men and women is encouraged and finds full scope in scientific activity. The STI, the Science and Technology Policy 2003, emphasizes on to promote the empowerment of women in all science and technology activity and ensure their full and equal participation. आगे नहीं चल रहा है. All these statements, in one way or the other, have emphasized the need for according priority to women scientists and technologists, in particular focusing on harnessing SNT for their benefit. So there are both aspects. Women who can do excellent science and technology and focusing their efforts on harnessing science for the benefit of womankind. The latest STI policy clearly mentions about encouraging the women in science and technology as given gender parity. Participation of women in STI activities is important. New and flexible schemes to address the mobility of changes of employed women scientists and technologists will be put in place. A broad scope for re-entry of women into R&D and facilitation mechanisms for special career paths in diverse areas will be sought. And this is just not a policy statement, friends. This has already been in implementation. Both DST and DBT have introduced a large number of schemes for the welfare of women scientists and technologists, also taking note of this particular aspect of the re-entry of women into R&D. And at this point, I want to emphasize that we must recognize, appreciate, and understand that women have a dual role in the society. If they are professionals, they have to do all their professional work with excellence. But at the same time, they have to hold on to household chores also. They have to look after the family, they have to look after the children, they have to mentor the children, nurture the children, and all other work which a woman does in the household. So the dual responsibility has to be managed. And sometimes another responsibility, which is social responsibility of women. And many times we see that women get married, like after MSc or maybe in the middle of your PhD, you get married and there is a breakup of 2-3 years. Then you want to re-enter. And for that, in fact, we had a special committee long ago, and when I was actually in DST, and Dr. Kalam was really there as principal scientific advisor, we did formulate some policy guidelines that we will allow schemes for re-entry of women. That is very essential for their growth and for their contribution in science and technology. So now this is something which I want to explain to you how we perceive the situation today. Women, we sometimes refer them as the invisible workforce. Nobody knows, nobody understands how much effort they are making and how hard they can work to really contribute to the society and to the nation. And these are all the aspects which I have written here in the cultural, socio-psychological, physical, gender bias, attitudinal, economic, demographic. I mean, I don't want to read all that. You can see it on the screen. And how will we achieve the target? Now, these are some practical points, my dear students. I think you should listen to this carefully, that how are we going to achieve our targets of becoming a scientist and of applying the science and technology for the welfare of women. Changing the deeply ingrained perception among the girls about the mathematics and science at a young stage. You know, the girls are afraid of mathematics. So we must change their perception. Finding a mentor, one of the most critical aspect, the most important aspect of a woman's life, if she wants to become a real scientist or a technologist or even a teacher, she must get a very good mentor early so that she can have confidence and translate her confidence into a real career for the satisfaction. Emphasizing hands-on experiments, learning by doing and critical thinking, good management practices and their implementation in the academic institutions. At this point, I also want to share with you something very interesting. You know, we have to create a very good environment. And today that environment not only consists of the best of equipment, the best of the teachers, the best of the facilities given by the university authorities, but also all the security of the women students. 100% security we have to ensure. But at the same time, what Albert Einstein said when he was asked that how can you be such a wonderful teacher? You are a very good scientist, and how can you be a wonderful teacher? And what he said, I don't teach my children. I create conditions for them to learn. So this is, I'm saying to the faculty members here, the women faculty members are sitting here in large numbers. That's what I was told by Dr. Khan. They have to create an environment which is conducive for the growth and development of the young students in the university. You have to create an environment by all those things which I mentioned earlier. Then it sometimes doesn't move forward. क्यों नहीं चलता है भाई? Providing SNT education to the young girls, the benefits of choice. Now here, as all of you understand and all of you have been emphasizing, I mean the university authorities, we have to break down the gender barriers. We must provide more opportunities and a wider variety of high-paying career choices, future jobs, to make the girls self-reliant. We have to ingrain the confidence in them, building confidence and developing valuable life skills in their stage. Helping young girls, women scientists feel more comfortable by adapting to using new technologies, thus supporting the development of other skills and attributes. This encourages them to become problem solvers. And that is the whole purpose, that we must be able to solve some of the problems of the society through the interventions of science, technology, and engineering aspects. Now, science and technology subjects, they will help the girls to have a better chance for their future career, employability, and later stage providing a road to better services. More women with science and STEM degrees serve as role models and create a virtuous cycle that helps more girls enter the field. This is important, that the more the women scientists become faculty members, become university professors, they will help more girls to enter the field of science and technology. Improving and attracting more women, girls towards S&T leads to increase ability to cater to the enormous consumer power of women in the marketplace, as well as corporate diversity in general, and associated with the improved problem solving, as I mentioned earlier. Programs, schemes, and what is supported by DST. I'm sure all of you, most of you must be knowing the Curie scheme and the GATI, the Science, Technology, Engineering, Medicine, STEM, as I mentioned in my title of the talk, Knowledge Involvement Research, that is Kiran, Mobility Scheme, Science and Technology for Women, Vigyan Jyoti scheme. These are some of the schemes of the Department of Science and Technology. And these are the schemes of the Department of Biotechnology. Career Advancement Scheme, BioCare. Then we have biotechnology-based programs for women. Then Biotech Krishi, Innovation Science Application Network, Mahila Kisan Biotech Fellowship, to develop them as leaders and grassroots level scientists. This is the DBT schemes. The National Academy of Sciences India, the oldest of the science academy in the country. And I can say with the total confidence that this academy has done one of the largest program for the women scientists and the application of science and technology for the benefit of the women. More than in 1 year, in fact, in the last 2-3 years, I would say, we have organized more than 32 events all over the country for sensitization, capacity building, and technological empowerment of women across the country. You can see the list of the states where we have gone through and the institutions which we have covered. I won't read that. And in addition to this, at the instance of the Honorable Minister for Science and Technology, we organized a mega event on science and technology. And this mega event had not only participation of the Indian scientific community, but we invited many women scientists, very eminent women scientists from abroad. And this is the inaugural session. You can see the minister, and I'll talk about Dr. Swaminathan in a moment. Then you see Dr. Anilka Kotkar, Secretary DST, Professor Paramjeet Khurana, and Dr. Karen Nilsson. She is the director of the Cantak's Genome Sequencing Center now. And she is one of the very eminent scientists. The National Academy of Sciences conferred the fellowship on her during this mega event. you can see Dr. Swaminathan and all of us, and these are the posters which the young women scientists and women students had displayed. This is the type of gathering we had, such a huge gathering. You can see the minister lighting the lamp and the minister opening the exhibition. We organized a small exhibition during the event. Why I'm showing you all this, that women are doing so many things. The women scientists, they are enthusiastic about so many activities. This is the publication we brought out. Yeah, this is the proceedings of that event. And I want to tell you some of the very major recommendations which we make. And the first one, if you see, to conquer the gender parity aspect is the proper mentoring right from the early stage. And I want this to university authorities to take it very seriously, that mentoring is such a critical aspect of development of women's personality. So we must try and help our women students to find a right mentor. The next is health-related issues, particularly nutrition, and then the tools and implements which should be evaluated for the performance of rural women, for the drudgery reduction, developing the entrepreneurial abilities and skills. Then capacity building, involvement in the leadership roles, which again is very, very critical. Then gender disaggregated information, data on the contribution of farm women, as well as to support their efforts for local development. Follow-up and initiatives by NACI and the implementation of these recommendations, they were sent. Yes, they were sent to many government departments. And ICAR in particular, we had a tie-up, and we promoted the development of ICR and NACI joint instruments for reducing the drudgery of farm women in agriculture. And you see, we instituted several awards which jointly instituted to help reducing the journey. You know, when you institute these awards, it's a sort of an incentive that please come and do something, because you know that women do more than 60% of the farm work, starting from sowing of the seeds to going up to the post-harvest technology, everything. And their physical conditions are not many times suited to handle very heavy equipments which are required in agriculture. So we decided that we should set up some instruments which are lighter, which can suit the physical conditions of women, and so that they can be more efficient in the farm work. This is that committee which took this decision. You see Professor M.G.K. Menon, Kasturi Rangan, Dr. Ayappan, and very many agriculture scientists. Then we had a program for eradication of malnutrition at Hyderabad and Vadodara, and also in Prayagraj, UP, in 3 states. And this is in Hyderabad, NIN Hyderabad. We had the first meeting where we formulated this program. And this is the intervention model in the slums of Hyderabad district, Telangana, to combat the persistent problem of undernutrition. And this was done jointly with NACI. Collaboration NACI has established with several departments. I can show you that. DST, and then we provide platform for many women for 1-year internship and encourage them to apply their science and technology training towards innovative solutions. With the science academies, we have a program. The 3 science academies have formulated recently a inter-academy panel, and this ensures that inclusion of women in SNT related issues in all possible and pragmatic ways, and strengthen the application of science and technology for women. I also want to tell you that it's a very happy occasion that Dr. Chandrima Shaha, one of the very eminent scientists of this country, has now become the president of Indian National Science Academy. This is after I was the president of NASI. After many years, I'm so happy to see that again a woman scientist has taken over as the president of INSA. Then, this is the vision document the Inter-Academy panel brought out. This vision document again has become very important and has been given to all the government departments to look at the recommendations of this and form their basic policy guidelines and strategy for development of women. Now I come towards the end of my lecture almost. And I want to tell you that the International Women's Day is yet another very important event which is organized all over the world on 8th of March. It was started sometime, the activities were started in 1999. That was the first National Women's Day in United States of America, and later on in Copenhagen, and it continued. And then in 1911, in Copenhagen, we had the first International Women's Day on 19th March. And many European countries observed that. Later on, in 1975, the UN began celebrating the International Women's Day on 8th March. And now we celebrate it every year. We always have a basic theme. And this year's theme, very important, and I want to congratulate Dr. Madhubala that she gave a very good vaccine perspective, and about COVID-19 she talked of. And this year's title is Women Scientists at the Forefront of the Fight Against COVID-19. And I can tell you that a large number of women scientists are involved in not only in management and as doctors and as frontline workers, but also in the research and development, very advanced research and development. And you will be happy to know that the director of the National Institute of Virology, which really isolated the virus, coronavirus, and gave it to Bharat Biotech, which has developed the inactivated whole virus vaccine. The whole team is led by a lady doctor, that is Dr. Priya Ibrahim. And that is it's a very proud matter for us. Then in the management, in the healthcare workers, women have been leading the front. So this year's title is International Day of Women and Girls. The girls has been added in particular because we want more and more girls to take interest in science. And this Women's Day has become such an important event for all of us. And all over the country it is celebrated. You will see that this year also everywhere in major universities there are lectures, there are functions, there are organizations, and large number of young girls are involved in cultural activities, scientific activities, entrepreneurial activities to see that science is relevant for their development. Now, at the end, I want to tell you what Marie Curie said. Life is not easy for any of us, but what of that? We must have perseverance and above all, confidence in ourselves. We must believe that we are gifted for something and that this thing must be attained. unquote. This is Marie Curie's statement, the woman scientist who got two Nobel Prizes. And what is important, friends, for all of us to understand that life cannot be easy. We just heard the lecture that Sir C.V. Raman worked on an instrument of 500 rupees. And after all, when he got the Nobel Prize, he didn't have a very advanced, very expensive laboratory setup where he worked for the Raman Effect. So we all have to see that even we can do outstanding work with very small amount of money. And we will, if we have the desire, if we believe that we can do this work, we will attain no matter how much money we have, no matter what type of environment is given to us, no matter what our original teaching is. If we decide to do something. And I'm sure the women have much more perseverance than men. And also I must tell you that the women have to work much harder to achieve the same recognition as the men get. So we have to, and this I'm telling you with my personal experience, that one has to work very hard to achieve something. And here you can see women. इसके पहले की एक स्लाइड प्लीज नहीं दिखा पाए. Now this I want to show all of you, very important, 150th birth anniversary of both Ba and Bapu. Now everybody remembered that it was 150th birth anniversary of Bapu, but very few thought that it was also the birth anniversary of Ba, Kasturba Gandhi. And Nasi celebrated this, and on a grand scale in the whole country. The local chapters did it. We did the main event, both the opening and the closing event. In fact, we went to a village to inaugurate the program of the 150th anniversary of Ba and Bapu. And I just want to read to you what Bapu had said about women. To call women the weaker sex is a level. It is man's injustice to women. If by strength is meant moral power, then woman is immeasurably man's superior. Unquote. And what did Ba said? Of course, she had always said that my life is the message I want to give to everyone. And we all know about her life, complete dedication towards the societal welfare. And she said, and she believed firmly in truth. Truth is what? Science. Whenever you have truth, it must be given with love, or the message and the messenger will be rejected. Almost the same thing, friends, J.R.D. Tata had said when he was relinquishing the charge, and he was addressing a group at the Tata Institute of Fundamental Research in Bombay. He said, if you want to be a real leader, you have to treat human beings with love. And that is one of the most important characteristic of a teacher. You know, we always look at our teacher for all the affection we want during the age when we are studying. And that is the critical age of a development of a human life. Childhood is you spend all in playing, then and you get all the affection from your mother and family members. But it is the real life is the growth when you are going to the school and to the college and to the university, and you make your career. And at that time, your teachers are the one you are in contact with. And if the teachers have to treat you with love and affection. And then only you will develop the confidence to become a real scientist and a technologist and someone who can help the general public with the intervention of science and technology. This again is a very important thing. Women form 50% of our human resource, and they are most essential for capacity building. And I'm sure all of you will understand this, what Gandhiji said: when a man is educated, an individual is educated. When a woman is educated, a family and a country are educated. Unquote. So my very best wishes on this National Science Day. All my blessings and love to my dear women faculty members, and of course certainly my respect to all the other faculty members, and lots of love and blessings to all the young students for their wonderful career ahead in science and technology. Thank you.
Vidya ma'am, over to you. Vidya ma'am.
Halimka. Yes. Yeah, a very good afternoon to one and all. And it gives me immense pleasure to talk about Dr. Manju Sharma ma'am, who is an inspiration and who has done so much work in the field of science and so much for the women in India. So ma'am is an extraordinary person in herself, and I would just like to say a few things to her. And madam, thank you so much for your lecture. It was so inspiring, and you focusing on women is a boon to the woman in India, ma'am. And ma'am has got a vast experience and a vast achievements which is so difficult to pen, but I'll just say a few. Ma'am started it all with winning the Birbal Sahani Memorial Gold Medal in the year 1961 for her masters, and then she did PDF in Purdue University, USA. She's a visiting scientist for many universities, and especially the Institute of Plant Anatomy and Cytology, University of Copenhagen. And she authored many books, and one of the main important book is the book on Indian medicinal plants in collaboration with ICMR. And she's the only lady scientist till now, ma'am only was told in her message, to occupy the position of the president of the National Academy of Fellows and National Academy of Sciences in India. We have got 3 academies, and ma'am was the first person, a lady, to occupy the chair. And she's a fellow of the Third World Academy of Sciences and National Academy of Agricultural Sciences, India. And she was honored honorary doctorate by Purdue University, USA in the year 2012 or 2012. She is the National Senior Woman Scientist and awardee, as well as the Archana Sharma Gold Medal awardee. And the most important medal or the award or the honor bestowed to ma'am is she received the Padma Bhushan award in the year 2007 from the Government of India. Ma'am, we are really very honored to have you on this platform, ma'am. And ma'am, though in all these years are going on, she's still working endlessly and relentlessly for India, for the woman, and we are really thankful to you, ma'am. And it is even in these latest times also, ma'am has awarded honorary doctorate from the Jamia Hamdard University, New Delhi in the year 2018, and recently 6th Jan 2019, the Reva University of Bangalore has bestowed ma'am with Lifetime Achievement Award. And I have little words to talk about ma'am. Ma'am, we are very grateful to you. We are very thankful to you to being on this platform on the National Science Day to talk to us and to enlighten us, ma'am. Thank you. God bless you. Over to you, Halimka.
Ma'am, Madhubala madam and Manju Sharma madam and Aruna madam, Vidya madam, can you pin up all of you on the screen so we can have a screenshot, I mean to say photo memory. Pankaj ji, क्या मैम को पिन अप कर सकते हैं स्क्रीन पे आने के लिए? पंकज इनका नाम क्या है सेक्रेटरी का मैडम की? Please pin up yourself, all of you. If you can come on the screen, we can have a can you please pin up all of you? मधुबाला मैडम प्लीज. दिनेश सर आप भी.
Unmute है. I am there. You are able to see me on the screen.
या आपका वीडियो ऑन करिए सर.
वीडियो ऑन किया है मैंने. आप देख लीजिए वीडियो ऑन पे है मैं.
नहीं मगर आपका मतलब पूरा लाइट नहीं है, पूरा डार्क. इट इज नॉट
डार्क आ रहा. अच्छा ठीक है, मैं थोड़ा साइड में चेंज करना पड़ेगा. ठीक है. एक बार देखिए.
मधुबाला मैडम आई थिंक शी.
राइट नाउ यू आर एबल टू सी मी.
यस आप बैठ जाइए.
अभी क्लियर है.
यस मधुबाला मैडम.
हेलो
मैम.
हेलो. मैं आ रहा हूँ. कहाँ? हेलो.
यस आप दिख रहे हैं. मधुबाला मैडम.
आवाज का है.
Hello, Madhubala madam. She is busy in her assignment. Actually, she couldn't. She's there in the meeting. But
Hello. चलेगा वो.
I don't know. Arna ma'am, can you speak few words? Can you sum up Manju Sharma madam?
Good afternoon, distinguished guests, eminent speakers, faculty from various colleges and universities, scholars and my dear students. And on the eve of celebration of National Science Day 2021, we are here and it's my pleasure to acknowledge due thanks and express sincere gratitude towards all the speakers who are with us today on this virtual mode of webinar at Telangana University. And to thank exclusively Manju Sharma madam. Actually, the topic was a little bit different and it's really inspiring, madam. And as recipient of award of Padma Bhushan, we are very happy and grateful to have you on this platform today. And we would like to thank you for sparing your valuable time. And madam, you have all told about the policies and the schemes provided for women to enrich their knowledge and to build up their confidence and to share all their role as a professional and a woman in the society. Manju Sharma madam actually started her talk where she has shown for a slide of having 2 Nobel Prize winners history for the year 2020, and as the talk of today's National Science Day was on C.V. Raman sir. He was also a Nobel Prize winner in the year 1930. And then madam has also told about all the schemes provided by DST, DBT and National Academy of Sciences. And madam has also given suggestions to the university authorities and recommendations to be followed to enrich the capacity of all the women faculty and also girls in the society. We are here and we give our assurance to say that definitely will follow your rules and regulations, take your help to procure these guidelines and also apply for the scholarships and apply for the scheme in the near future. And madam, we would like to thank you. Thank you very much, madam. Thank you, sir. Over to you.
Sir, passport.
Thank you, ma'am, for your presence. Thank you. Our next speaker, Dinesh Kumar sir, is ready. I would like to introduce Dinesh Kumar sir. Thank you, Pamela ma'am.
ఒకసారి ఫోన్ చేస్తే గుర్తు ఆగిందంటే మైక్ పని చేస్తుంది. దీని పాస్వర్డ్ ఏంది? దీని ఇంట్రొడ్యూస్ ఆల్రెడీ వస్తుందా సిగ్నల్ ఉందా? కన్నదారు కన్నదారు ఇక్కడ లేదు కానీ కనుక నెట్వర్క్ ప్రిఫరెన్స్ ఏమైంది లాగిందని అసలు అది కొంచెం దీంట్లో నెట్వర్క్ చూసుకొని ఆగిందంటే దీంట్లో మనం ఏం నెట్వర్క్ తీసుకొని పాస్వర్డ్ కొట్టేస్తే అయిపోతుంది. నెట్వర్క్ ప్రిఫరెన్సెస్ ఏమైంది? వైఫై ఆన్ చేసి అక్కడ కింద పడుతుంది. हेलो हली नहीं मैं कर रहा हूँ अभी शेयर स्क्रीन करूंगा. मैं क्या है बोलते मैं लैपटॉप से ले रहा हूँ. मेरा डेस्कटॉप में जरा प्रॉब्लम चल रहा है तो लैपटॉप से आ जा रहा हूँ. नो प्रॉब्लम 10 मिनट लगेंगे. अकाउंट नंबर अकाउंट में आ गया. हाँ तो क्या कनेक्ट नहीं करेगा देखिए आप मोबाइल से ఇక్కడ ఏమైంది ప్రాబ్లం సౌండ్ వస్తలేదు. ఆ మైక్రోఫోన్ అన్ని లూజ్ ఉన్నాయి. దాంట్లో అంతా పిచ్చి కథ
Let me complete the introduction of Dinesh Kumar sir. Dinesh Kumar sir is Scientist G, Director Grade, former ICMR National Institute of Nutrition, NIN, founder and managing trustee SSF, councillor IUP HARPNPS, Vice President Nutrition Society of India NSI, former President National President Indian Pharmacological Society, former National Secretary National Nutrition Society of India. With background in pharmacology, Dr. Dinesh Kumar sir has served prestigious Premier Nutrition Research Entity of India ICMR, National Institute of Nutrition, and retired as Director Grade Scientist after 38 years. He is recognized nationally and globally for his contribution to the fields of preclinical toxicology, nutrition pollution interaction, and social drug epidemiology. His achievements and successful implementation of public-private partnership model in research and strengthening the regulatory guidelines are remarkable. The task force projects on heavy metals and phthalate in toys, iron filings in tea, screening of recombinants, innovative therapies, and scientific validation of traditional medicinal products are some more of his important contributions. He has also been actively involved as one of the main investigators in epidemiological outbreaks and as frontline warrior in COVID-19 operations of ICMR-NIN. Investigation of mystery disease of Iluru, nephrotoxicity, industrial toxicity in Dadra and Nagar Haveli, and Bhopal gas tragedy. He has over 75 scientific publications in indexed national and international journals with an average impact factor of 3. 85 regulatory reports of preclinical toxicology and safety studies of 45 indigenously products, recombinants, rDNA, anti-rabies, MSCS, GMOs, traditional formulations, etc. He has also contributed to several chapters to books and popular articles in dailies, magazines, and periodicals. He guided students, 17, resource person and chairperson of several national 25 and national conference as a part of intervention strategies. He was instrumental in developing educational films to promote rational use of medicine, prevention of lead toxicity, and other important topics. He successfully executed several scientific projects supported by national DBT, CSIR, ICMR, ICAR, DST, CCRAS, Ministry of Health and Family Welfare, Ayush, CNF, EF&CC, Government of India Organization, international agencies, IAEA, UKERI, IUPAR, WHO, World Bank, Endo-US, UKERI, IUPAR, and many private agencies. He is currently serving as an expert member in various regulatory and scientific bodies, that is CDCSCO, FSSAI,
अभी खान जी सार थोड़ा कम कर दो
CIS, DBT. With these few words, I would like to request Dinesh sir to start his presentation. Hello, sir. We are waiting for sir. Please have some patience. Sir is joining back again.
Hello, Halim Khan ji. Am I right now?
Sir, you have joined, sir. You can
Hello?
start. Yes, sir.
Halim ji.
Sir. Yes.
Hello.
Yes, sir. आपके आवाज आ रही है. आप शायद म्यूट है. नहीं, आप तो अनम्यूट कर ले चुके हैं. Sir, you can start your sharing screen, sir.
नहीं, इधर अटैचमेंट आ गया. हाँ. Hello.
Sir.
एडमिट गया. हाँ, तो शुरू करो भाई. हाँ, अभी आप नहीं, आवाज आ रहा मेरा वहाँ पे. हाँ, राइट, ठीक है सर. एक सेकेंड. शेयर पे जाएगा. शेयर कहाँ है? हाँ, वही कर रहे सर. शेयर. पेन ड्राइव लग गया. पेन ड्राइव इधर आ गया ना. अच्छे से नहीं. एक सेकंड सर. हाँ, जा रही है. अच्छी सी नहीं. ऐसा है. ऐसे नहीं है. Are you able to see?
Yes, sir. Yes, we are able to see, sir.
Are you able to see my slide, sir?
Yes.
ले लें आप देखना. ये नहीं है. लाइक नहीं. Right here. Here also box. కాదు నీ స్లైడ్ ఎందుకో అట్లా తీసినావు అనుకో కొడుతుంది అది.
షేర్ స్క్రీన్.
షేర్ స్క్రీన్ చేసిన. ఓకే సార్, దీనికి ఎస్కేప్ కొట్టి डेस्कटॉप पे रखेंगे. అయిందా? ఇప్పుడు ఈ జూమ్ కి పట్టుకుందాం.
టీ అని పెట్టేసి టీ అని ఉంది సార్. టీ అనే సెలెక్ట్ చేసి ఇది సైన్స్ సొసైటీ అది వస్తుంది.
Yeah. అరే అట్లా తీయద్దు.
ఇక్కడ సేవ్ చేసి వస్తాను డెస్క్టాప్.
అట్లా తీసేసిన దానికి ఆబ్జెక్షన్స్ రేజ్ చేస్తుంది ఇది. అదే మీరు ఏం మిస్టేక్ చేస్తున్నారంటే అది ఉంది కదా, అది 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 తీసే వరకే ప్రాబ్లమ్స్ అవుతున్నాయి. అట్లా इसमें क्या है मान भाई, इसमें I repeatedly ask you why have you removed ethics in research every place. चलो ठीक है, बैठो सुनो. शेयर इधर కదా, ఇక్కడ షేర్ ఎక్కడ చేయాలి? Yeah, are you able to see, sir, now?
Yes, sir. Your
Hello?
slides are seen, sir. Yes.
Meet lo unna ida.
Sir, it is clear, sir, now. Sir. सर दिख रहा है, आप चालू कर दीजिए सर.
Are you able to see the slides?
हाँ हाँ सर सर सी.
Shall I go ahead?
दिखाई भी दे रहा है.
चलो, right sir, I am going ahead. First, it gives me great pleasure to celebrate the Science Day, sir. In fact, 28th February is a very important day for the Indians, where C.V. Raman and many scientists have contributed enough to us. In fact, I am a proud son of Telangana. Feel so comfortable to talk in Telangana University because I completed my education from Giriraj Government College. and thankful to Ahmed Abdul Haleem Khan as well as the Vice Chancellor and the management of Telangana University to give me this opportunity. And after completing my graduation from Giriraj Government College, I have joined as a pharmacology person and I am just serving ICMR for 39 years. I hope next 5 years may somebody will take over in ICMR from our university. And with these greetings to all of you, I may like to tell you that I have a separate topic on science in research. Nagendra, press over. Next slide. Okay. Sir, now I am just going to keep the first slide. Towards your left side, you are able to see Prime Minister Mrs. Indira Gandhi. At that time, she was the health minister. She has received 1947-48 penicillin from Canada, penicillin injections and penicillin dosages from Canada. What is the situation today? WHO chief is applauding the Indian scientists, specifically mentioning that they have to learn from that the India has performed extraordinarily well. Now today we are the global supplier of the vaccine. So what a paradigm shift, and what a paradigm shift, and what a proud moment for an Indian that we have used this opportunity to the full potentials. I may like to tell you that my next slide is that first I have to tell you what are the ethics, guidelines and law and why this has become very, very important. The government of India being working in ICMR, we are thankful to every citizen of this country. Why we are very graciously and very happily telling you that you have followed strict guidelines as and when they have been announced by the Prime Minister or the ICMR. Because of these guidelines, we are able to control the COVID, being the largest populated country in the world. So I would like to tell you that the science also is nowadays governed by ethics, guidelines and law. Always we are getting confused between the ethics. Ethics come from the inside. That means it is a behavior which is very, very important for you. So that is why your ethics should be conscious and you should behave properly. Don't get overlapped with the guidelines and ethics. Guidelines means these are the norms, which norms have been fixed by certain agencies, like ICMR has fixed a guideline that you are supposed to wear the mask. It is a guideline. Now it has become a mandatory requirement. And that is what exactly is happening in the Maharashtra, in Kerala and some other places where they have just taken the things in very simple way of not wearing the mask, going out, celebrating the marriages in a grand function and collecting the people thousands, and that has actually made a second wave also which needs to be corrected. So you have to follow ethics, you have to follow guidelines and law. Now I am just going to take you to what is that exactly has happened. I was listening to Dr. Manju Sharma ji also, and at that time I have noticed that she has covered very nicely how the science has evolved in this country. I am just trying to bring to your notice that I am so fortunate that I was involved with majority of the epidemics in one or some other way. Like Bhopal gas tragedy, the ethics is that the company has not printed properly the ethics, and that is why there was a gas leakage. And this gas leakage was so serious, even till today, one of the third generation, second generation are getting the congenitally abnormal children. How I was actually involved and how the scientist has to evolve to the process. For this treatment, there was a need of a sodium thiosulfate injection that was not manufactured during that time. It was stopped because nobody anticipated that environmental pollution will take place, the incidents will happen like this, and methyl isocyanate gas will be leaked. Then I have to take the support of IDPL in Hyderabad again. That is why I am proudly telling you that we Telangana people should be so happy that in world's disaster, Telangana has played extraordinary role to combat with this pharmaceutical intervention in many of the places. Now, this is how we have developed the sodium thiosulfate injection in Bhopal gas tragedy. Now, I am just very commonly bringing you. You are all aware that Maggi noodle was banned. The banning of a Maggi noodle is a social issue. The banning of the Maggi noodle is a scientific issue. The banning of a noodle is a in regulators issue. Why it is banned? What are the reasons? The reasons is that the once the Maggi noodle was banned, the first community affected is the population, and specifically the women population, and they are the first people who are affected with this Maggi noodle, because they started telling, अरे मैगी खत्म हो गया, मैगी खत्म हो गया, अब 2 मिनट में बच्चों को क्या बनाएंगे, काम रुक गया. This is the way the talk used to be. But what is the science behind the Maggi noodle ban? What is the regulators rule? What was industry doing? What was a civil society doing? So that is where I'm telling you, science is no more a science in the laboratory. Science is no more a air-conditioned room for a scientist. Scientist is a work on the grassroots level. Today, what is the grassroots level here? The ban was done because it was containing high amount of lead. But the final report was found that it was not having a lead, but the Maggi company has put a label that it doesn't contain a monosodium glutamate, which was wrong, and this was not approved, and this was not science-based thinking, which everybody thought. But whenever you are going to a supermarket or any place, please make sure what is the label claim. Now FSSAI is very actively pursuing it, and you have to purchase those communities on which the label claims are clearly written. Now, coming to the next this thing, I may like to just tell you, you may be having lot of mobile phone users everywhere. Now, these mobile phone users, what is the disease which is a mobile phone users are facing? Is a neck cord disease. The person takes the mobile phone, and mobile phone is an advanced technology instrument, very advanced technology instrument, but its utility is not full use. That means that its utility is for use, misuse, abuse, and everything. Now, the scientists are worried, what if the mobile phones are used, then you are going to get one disease called as a neck wart disease, which is a joint pain in the neck, and you are going to a doctor to release the pain by some analgesics or anti-inflammatory drugs, and these drugs will, more than curing, will cause a renal toxicity. Now I have to do a discovery for this. You just see this picture. Nobody reads the mobile phone straight. Everybody reads the mobile phone at the angle of 45, 35 degrees. And this, by doing this, you are putting a 27 kg of load on your neck, and this neck pain leads to your this type of diseases. Now, how to do it? What to do it? That is the issue, which is just the technology which needs. So I am going to collect this information at the end when I am going to just start my another presentations in this way. Now, for last 1.5 year, not 1.5 year, exactly 14 months, and we have celebrated the birthday of Corona also. And I am the person who was a zonal in charge of your Kamareddy district, visited several times, did a zero virulence test in your Kamareddy. I was the person involved from the grassroots level, and I was the frontline person. And the coronavirus serovirulence test, how it is important, why it is important, that also I will be mentioning. Now you are able to see the slide. In the slide, you are seeing that world is closed for renovation. That means we are all under the renovation, and we have under the drama, where the drama is going on inside the globe, and this globe is actually fixed on a stethoscope, and the stethoscope is dictating the terms to us and how to go about and how not to go about it. And this is the lesson which actually this COVID endemic has given to you. What is this corona? First of all, we have to understand, when Dr. Manju Sharma was mentioning that India NIV Pune director, Dr. Priya Abraham, has actually received a lot of applause, and we were collaborating with her for a longer time, and I was also one of the person who contributed to provide the annual experimentation data in this COVID works. Now, this COVID-19, because Telangana University is also having a biotechnology program. In this, we must learn it is a tough protein with these grades which are coming out. They are the things which they go attack on a lung tissue, get there fixed, and they will drag all the oxygen from the body. That is why the coronavirus is called as it tears from vessel to brain. That means it only not only treats heart but lung, but it treats all your vessels and up to the brain. That is why finally the death is very fast in case of coronavirus. Now, many a times, and this is the picture about which Dr. Manju Sharma was intent to mention, and you are able to see the right side. We have isolated the virus, live virus of corona in this, and left side is the standard coronavirus, and we are having and kept this virus in a BSL-4, and we are doing a lot of challenging studies with the different type of drugs. And this is how Dr. Manju Sharma was clearly mentioned. Now, coming to the fear, you see why ethics has become important in a post-COVID period. We must understand that this is not a first epidemic, or this is not a first pandemic. Such type of pandemics were happening. But in our generation, that means the people who are around the age of 40 to 65, they are seeing a seriousness of this pandemic. But the people who are above our age, they have seen the plague, they have seen smallpox, they have seen polio, like this, they have seen a lot of diseases. But the description of this is not mentioned here. I am bringing to you one slide, and this slide is 3000 BC old picture, which is maintained by the UNESCO as a UNESCO place, and this is 5000 years Mongolia, one area, one village, a small village, which is a prehistoric village. You can just see all the skeletons which are there. These skeletons are kept there, and these skeletons are suggestive of that they have suffered with a big pandemic, and so that they have actually been dead there only, and that village is now been just taken over by the UNESCO to keep it. That means from the 5000 years back also there was a epidemic, and this epidemic was very dangerous, and that is why the present pandemic which you are getting afraid, you have to be courageously facing this pandemic. How the things have emerged, that you have to see. Now you please see, this is a Roman soldiers. These Roman soldiers have won the war. After winning the war, all of them went to their place. But all the army which won the war have suffered with a smallpox vaccine, that smallpox disease. Because they carried the smallpox disease, they have attacked the place where the pandemic was going on. So when we are telling that you have to isolate the patient, you have to separate the patient, that itself is an indication why we are telling you. We are learning the things from the history. So you have to see the science cannot come emerge like this. Science also has a history, and based on the history, you can evolve the procedure. Now, coming to how this whole vaccine has come out, and why the smallpox vaccine has made it changes, which I may like to tell you. Here, I may like to mention in the next slide. In this slide, you can just very clearly see why this stigma of China is always China is in a question mark. Why, what happened? Out of so many disorders, 5 to 7 disorders have emerged from the China. You can just see, which I am mentioning here, the Asian flu in 1957, Hong Kong flu in 1968. Then coming to the recently, what happened is the SARS, which was present and killed 774 people in China and other places. Then Chinese pig, which is the recent episode, 1 year back it has happened, and all the Chinese pigs have been assassinated, killed. Why? Because of the virus attack. How, why it has happened? What is the rationale for this? This is the why the chick, because Chinese like pigs very much, but there were no pigs, and all the pigs from the India were exported, and that is how the China is called as epicentric for distributing the viral infection. This is a suspicion. This is not a confirmation. This is a suspicion. Now, you come to the top 5 pandemics which might have happened and they have changed it. But you have to read my last underlined sentence. While some of the earliest pandemics faded by wiping out the population, medical and public health initiatives were the halt and spread of other diseases. What does it mean? As the human civilian flourished, they did the infection flourish, they have destroyed the nature, and this destruction of the nature has brought so many pandemics that we are not able to control. So science, society, ethics, morals, guidelines are fixed only because of these purposes. Now, I am just taking you to historical prospects where every citizen has certain rights. and every citizen must know how to use the rights, and everything should be science-based or evidence-based, and we cannot develop our own WhatsApp. Now at least the government has come out with the guidelines to see the WhatsApp, because the WhatsApp messages sometimes are so exploiting that we cannot even believe the WhatsApp. That is the situation today. Now you just see why this girl who is carrying a picture where she is telling, please hug me, I am a Chinese, I am not a Corona prize. That means this has happened in Spain and Italy, where many Chinese used to work, but none of the people used to like the Chinese people, but they have to advertise, and that is how the hugging program has spread the coronavirus in Italy and in Spain, and maximum deaths and epidemic has been reported there. And this is also very important, that the Chinese problem is that they never celebrate New Year Day, they celebrate the New Year Day after the January. And very important issue here is that they have declared on 31st midnight that unknown origin of respiratory infection. On 7th January, they declare it is a corona. On 9th January, they have declared the complete structure of coronavirus. And this is what the days are important to understand what was the reason behind it, why they have not declared, and what is the reason. How India has acquired? India has acquired this on January 2nd or 1st, where some two students have come from same Wuhan place and entered into the Kerala. The 1st February, they infected the corona case in Kerala. After 3 days, one more case came. He was also infected with corona. And from later on, there was no restriction, so many came, and it has become such a spread that corona could not be controlled. That means there should be some intervention strategies. Now I am just telling you, you are the students and scientific people. We have to learn that isolation is how important if the world such epidemics are going to happen. Now I am being a frontline worker, I have been vaccinated. I am propagating that you all must get vaccinated. You can just see I have been vaccinated, and I have, after the vaccination, I am very fortunate enough. Now I am just taking you to one important slide. This slide is a cartoon. This cartoon is very, very important in terms of efficacy and the safety of any gadget, the same way for the vaccine and other purposes. Like, if you are just, this is the slide where you can just see the mobile phones were introduced. These are the gadgets. And these gadgets, this cartoon actually is that before the current Prime Minister took the Prime Minister job, this cartoon has said that we are having more toilet, less toilet than the mobile phones. This is the meaning of this cartoon. Today we are having more mobile phones, no public toilet. This person has to attend the morning public toilet, and he enters into the toilet, and while entering into the toilet, he never realized, and he receives a phone call mentioning there is no office. So he happily do not attend the toilet. He goes home, problem for himself, problem for his family, problem for the society. So who is the culprit? Mobile phone is the culprit. So efficacy is there, but the safety is equally important. That is why you are always getting a doubt why the vaccine is not good, why the vaccine is safe. No, it is a safety test have been stringently done. Phase 2 trials are completed, phase 3 trials are completed, and that is why. Now, many a time, please remember, scientists are facing lot of difficulties and questions. They are always in the corner of the presentment, where the questions are always not been able to be answered by the scientists. So Darwin is also a victim, Galileo is also a victim, and Charles Darwin has told that the nature has created birds, but the father has kicked him out, mentioning that don't talk against the God. And Galileo, when he discovered the stars through his telescope, he has been assassinated in a shortest period. The same way, the scientists, when they talk, there will be a lot of opposition. Now, I am just bringing to your point education that whenever we are doing the animal research programs, at that time we have to make sure that most of the cosmetics which are available in the Indian market, they are from some place, and this place are doing this cosmetic by testing them on the rabbit. Please, when we say it is a ban, that means it is a regulation, so we are not supposed to use this banned product. Remember, we have only one earth. We have to survive all. There is no other earth. So eco-environmental things are very important. Now I am just bringing you to this picture. This picture is very clear. Why I am bringing is this picture is that the Parsi community who used to just kill, keep their dead body for these vultures to eat, and these vultures they eat the dead body, and that is how the decomposition of the dead body take place for the Parsi community. Now Parsi community has changed the crematorium procedures because all vultures have died. In India, we have only 1% vultures which are available in India. So Parsi community got them tested. When they got tested, they have found that high amount of diclofenac sodium and a brufen was present in these birds, and these birds were not able to digest this enzyme. That is why they used to die. Now what you have done? Vultures मर गया तो science का क्या लेना देना है? This is the question always come. No, eco balance is important. These vultures were present only to eat the viruses, bacteria, which was spoiled bacteria, and the vultures were having that. And today you are able to see so many epidemics which are neither in bacterial origin or viral origin, otherwise would have been controlled by this vulture. Now you have killed the vulture, so you have imbalanced the whole environment. So we have to think about the science behind the environment, facts behind the environment. These are the important things, and that is why this ethics content starts from the engineering firm, industry firm, client firm, professional firm, family firm, and this is how the whole global ethics context will come. And for all this ethics, the science is backbone. And yeah, just I am last time also when I visited Telangana, I told you please start debating the current topic on why we should do the genomic program. Shall we do or shall we not do? And what is the repercussions on this? Because this is a new science which is going to evolve on the ethics principle. Now, I am just putting you to the last but not the least slide is that the India has to fight the hunger. World has to fight the hunger. We have only 7,000 plants which is cultivated in human, and we have not rest of the things. Only 30% of the population is just getting the finger. But in Kamareddy or in Sirinapalli, there are so many people who use different and alternative vegetables. Can you take out those vegetables and find out the medicinal value, history of their use, so that it can facilitate us to actually combat the world hunger in a natural fashion? Fine, recombinant technology will do its job, but if you all, because you are in a place where you have all the facilities and you are different in remote places, connected with the villages, district, tribal population, please take this type of epidemic work which is need of the hour for the country. And I may not like to take your much time. I may like to just mention you that the society is just asking you the questions. Shall I ban GMO? Shall I ban mobile phone? Shall I ban the laptop? Shall I ban the what you call everything? If it is banned, then again you have to bring back the post offices. So do you mean to say the science which is gone in this is like this or is like this, or shall we go in a modern language? You will have to assess all the things. And civil society, remember, if you don't have an evidence-based research, the civil society is going to ask a question. You can just see, an apple a day is a very good thing. If you take 5 apples in a day, you are very close to a dental doctor. That means I have to put every apple to be labeled. That fifth apple is dangerous. Please don't take it. If I write like this, then it will become a question. So civil society is asking how. The civil society wanted an answer why 2 mm surface of enamel teeth is gone. So these are the questions which even civil society will be asking. Today, when we are planning to introduce a vaccine, how many questions are coming? And most of the people have learned. So this learning is an important process which you may have to keep it in mind in a science. And science is always evidence-based, and we have to go with it. Now, many of the mothers, sisters, and your friends are watching the every day some cartoon movies. The cartoon movie analysis has been done, and they say that out of the 14,000 hours of education and 16,000 of watching the TV, every 30 minutes they will be watching some emotional picture or some type of thing that becomes an image in his mind. And this image spoils the child's brain. And this brain, we have to just actually see to it that it doesn't happen. They must go for the play. They should play outside. They should stop watching the cartoon movies. This is one advice which we may like to give it on this Science Day. And ethics guidelines are very much available on every website. Animal ethics, human ethics, recombinant product, use of different type of product, and these are all evolved because of the scientific research. And I may just like to bring this photo because now everybody has to use this dialogue of using the crisis as an opportunity, which the Prime Minister has told. And today, because of the Atmanirbhar Bharat program, we have made our own masks, which are available at 4 rupees, 5 rupees. Otherwise, India was in a crisis and they were bringing the mask also from the China. Same way, because of this Atmanirbhar Bharat, today we have done a successful vaccinated program and we are very advanced in the world. We are 14 vaccine companies are in pipeline, 3 got approvals, 1 got complete approval, 2 got emergency approval, 4 are in the final stage of screening. So we are able to supply the vaccine to other parts of the world at a reasonable price, at a lowest price for Indian population at 200. That is our beauty of this, and that is how we have conquered the world, showing that our science and technology is well advanced and we are far ahead. So thanks a lot, friends, and happy return Science Day to all of you for listening my patientful lecture. And please follow the governing laws, mask, and keep the hand wash. This is what I want to advise you. Thank you very much, sir. Over to Haleem Khan.
Thank you so much, sir. Thank you for your wonderful presentation.
Yeah.
Now over to Aruna ma'am. Aruna ma'am, can you summarize the meeting? Aruna ma'am, over to you.
On behalf of Department of Botany, I would like to express my sincere thanks to all eminent speakers who are with us today on the occasion of National Science Day 2021 on the theme Future of Science, Technology, Innovations, Impacts on Education, Skills and Work. And today, as the day has started, we had inaugural session and we also had addressing of gathering by our registrar, Professor Naseem Madam, for whom we are very much thankful. And it was Professor Mohan sir who delivered his talk on legacy of C.V. Raman. And we are very much thankful to you, sir, and grateful to you, sir, who have accepted our invitation and who are with us today at Telangana University on this platform of virtual mode. Sir has very briefly made us learn about Sir C.V. Raman, right from his college days of education, where he excelled his studies during BA and MA, and also pursued his research. And out of his twists and turns in life, he achieved Nobel Prize, and he was Nobel Prize winner for his discovery of Raman Effect, that is Raman scattering, where Mohan sir has given an extensive lecture, and his talk was very elaborate. And through his lecture, we have clearly understood about Sir C.V. Raman, and it was all about his education and his marriageable life and his work as Assistant Accountant General at Calcutta, and his research at Indian Association for Cultivation of Science, Kolkata, which was founded in the year 1876. And he has taken support of his wife, where she was very good at playing one instrument, and taking her support, he was also very good at playing instruments like veena, tambola, and so on. And purchasing this equipment at a cheaper cost made him lead to ultimate position, and is now Nobel laureate. And then he's an Indian physicist who has discovered for Raman effect. And for this, we are very much thankful to Professor Mohan sir. And it was talked by Professor Madhuvala Madam on perspectives on vaccine development. We are grateful to you, Madam, and we are thankful to you, Madam, for being with us. And it is learned how a vaccine is delivered and how a vaccine is administered, and work about Edward Jenner and work about Lewis Pasteur. And she has also made us understand about types of vaccines, that is genetic vaccines, viral vector vaccines, protein-based vaccines, and inactivated vaccines, and also about mode of action for different types of vaccines. And Madam has clearly explained for different steps in vaccine development. And she has also shown for slides of use of clinical studies where vaccine was tested in animal studies for efficacy and safety. And during this period of pandemics, where all of us are facing the problem of spread of this coronavirus, Madam has focused on this topic also, that is COVID-19, and may be helpful to all the scholars and students, where Madam has given a clear-cut picture of characteristic features of coronavirus and how does coronavirus infect the host, and what are the diseases carried by coronavirus and how it infects the upper respiratory tract of mammals and birds, and what are the diagnostic kits, which include like ELISA and PCR. And also she has given a comparative account of differences between endemics, epidemics, and pandemics, where it's need of the hour to understand by the society. And she has also told about the measures to be taken and preventive measures, and how to control the disease, and how to be away from the disease if one is being attacked. And she has also told about the vaccine development status in India and abroad. And she has given a dictated statement saying that as on 2020, there were 42 candidate vaccines in clinical interactions in humans, and 151 candidate vaccine in preclinical phases, and for which we are very much thankful to you, Madam. Once again, thank you very much for your inspiring lecture. And already we were grateful to Manju Sharma Madam. And Manju Sharma Madam has talked all about science, technology, engineering, mathematics, and medicine, and role of women in society, and to have the benefit out of the schemes provided by DST, DBT, and other academies, and also for girl-child improvement progress in science in society. And she has also given some suggestions and recommendations to the authorities of universities and faculty of all disciplines to be followed, like to avail the schemes and scholarships such that they can enrich and build their capacity. So we are very much grateful to you, Madam, and we ensure and assure that definitely we'll follow your guidelines in your future, and see that some mentoring activities are being followed in the department for progress and development of girls at schools, colleges, and universities. Thank you, Madam, and really we are very grateful to have you on the platform as a recipient of Padma Bhushan Award. We are very much thankful to you, Madam. And it was finally taught by Dr. Dinesh Kumar sir, and Dinesh Kumar sir has given a comparative account for differences between ethics guidelines and law, and he has taken some examples as live, and he had taken back us to those days of 1984, where there was a tragedy at Bhopal. It's leakage of gas, so it's a Bhopal tragedy, where whole of the city was collapsed. And that is how one should follow for the guidelines when you run for any of the industry or where you run for any of the factory, such that precautionary steps should be taken where you should not disturb the society in and around your area of work. And we are thankful to you, sir, where you have also told for some ethics to be followed in humans and animals, including for manipulation of GM crops and genetically engineered crops. It was lively presentation, sir, and it was inspiring presentation. Thank you very much, sir. And on the whole, I would also like to thank all the participants who are with us today for 3 or 4 hours, and hope that you have been benefited out of this conference, that is webinar on virtual mode. Thank you all, and thank you, Haleem Khan sir, for giving me this opportunity. Thank you, and over to you.
Thank you, ma'am, for such a wonderful brief up of the entire day. So once again, I wish one and all the National Science Day greetings to one and all. Thank you for joining us. Thank you, Dinesh Kumar sir. Thank you, Madhubala madam. Thank you, Mohan sir. Thank you, Manju Sharma madam. So entire cast and crew of Telangana University hereby deeply, immensely express our gratitude towards all the speakers of the day. And it is a kind of gesture that we have to reach a long way. And science has reached a particular point where we can even make the babies, designer babies. Maybe it is banned today, but as test tube babies has become common in the walk of life, one day maybe the designer babies may also come, and the man can create the children of their own choice. That day may also be soon, because presently the ethical code is not followed. I mean, its ethical code do not allow such kind of activities, but still in the coming days we expect that the science will take to a long power where we don't even imagine. So with this few words, I express deep sense of gratitude towards all the participants also. And the link for certificate has been already given to your emails, respective emails where you have registered. And more than 90 participants have filled the certificate link, and they have got their certificates. Please, if you are not getting the certificate today, don't worry. You may be getting the certificate back again tomorrow. Indira madam, can you speak for a while? Indira madam. Indira madam. Indira madam from New Zealand. Indira madam is my one of best friend from New Zealand. We are colleagues for a long time. Indira madam, can you speak for a while? Can you start?
Good evening and namaste and pranamams to all the participants and all the eminent personalities tonight who had shared their wealth of experience and knowledge with everyone. Thank you all for this awesome day where the Telangana University had the privilege to organize such a wonderful event for all of us. Thank you all for bringing us together with the virtual platform. Thank you all. And it was really an awesome day for being a woman, and also being a learner, to be able to see the trends that India has been taking chances and trying to combat the pandemic, and the way the world is heading towards as a leader, as a pioneer in many aspects, and still holding the top-notch spot in the world. So my salutes to all the scientists and eminent personalities who shared their wealth of knowledge tonight. Thank you, Dr. Haleem Khan sir. Thank you very much for the opportunity. And God bless all the participants with the knowledge, and hope they take it into a higher arena and make it even prouder.
Thank you. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Vidya ma'am, can you sum up the things and we will end the meeting? Vidya madam, I made you co-host. Ma'am, Vidya madam.
Yes, Haleem Khan.
Yeah, you can sum up the things and we can end up the meeting.
Yeah, sure. I mean, it's been a long day, or most of the day we have been with us, all the participants. We are really grateful to you for being so patient and bearing with the our National Science Day celebration. And we thank each and every person who has participated, as well as each and every person who contributed their knowledge, their experience, and given us insights in so many aspects, right from Mohan Karupallai sir to Indira ma'am, who has just finished, Dinesh Kumar sir, who has told so much about our pandemic and how we should still stay in this pandemic area, and Madhubala ma'am and Manju Sharma ma'am. We thank each and everyone, and I thank Haleem Khan sir for organizing this, and thank you one and all. God bless.
Thank you, ma'am. Thank you. And once again, I express deep sense of gratitude towards all the participants. Please, participants, today's limit of certificate has been finished. So almost everybody who through mail, email also they have filled. So please, we have more than 578 participants who registered. So it may take some time. Please give some time that we can online certification it is. So please wait and fill, and we'll be keeping the link active until everybody gets a certificate. Thank you one and all for joining with us, and have a nice day, everybody. Be safe, stay safe.